ComicGains is going to Hollywood, so y'all should come along and join us. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this Princess Aurora has a very lovely day, just like usual, doing that princess wave you do too. Bow down, respect, and of course, there's a Cocoa Dog.
Our mascot is here to play. All right, guys, welcome back on this Monday. We're actually having to film this before we go to the con this weekend, so it's kind of an exciting morning, getting ready for that. But we had to take some time out of our busy day to make sure you guys get the drop list this week, so you get those updates and know what's hot. These might be books that we're looking for this weekend, too, while we're hunting at the con. We might be picking some books up on this drop list. So before we get into any of that, though, Zach has a brand new drink to the show, and he's feeling a little parched from yesterday, so
we got some electrolytes, because that's what body craves, right?
Brand.
And it's lemon lime. It might be Gatorade, it might be somebody else. I'm just going to drink
I think it's like the Pedialyte, right? Like baby drink?
Wah.
Wah. Get that thirsty.
Rejuvenating. Like it.
You know what also is rejuvenating? If your collection's running a little small, you can always hang out with us on Whatnot every Saturday. Actually, the lineup is changing. Princess will be starting at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, and Zach and Adam will be starting at 6. So just a new change up, but come hang out with us every Saturday. We have tons of great books, a lot of keys. Everything starts at $1, 30-second auctions, and you always have opportunities to win slabs. So it's great on both shows. Come hang out with us. It's the best time of your life. All right, getting back to the drop list. So if you guys are new, this is your first time hanging out with the Gains crew, going over the drop list. We do this every week, and what we do is we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists, speculation lists. We look at the Hollywood Reporter, anything that has to tell us about comics that were hot 1 year ago, and we try to figure out why they were hot a year ago and maybe why they're not hot now. So all these comics need to have a significant drop in price from 1 year ago today, and we do the awesome part of putting them in order from the least drop to the number one drop book of the week. And Zach will also give you his expert opinion on the number one drop book.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, sometimes you'll get 2, right?
3.
So he just names all of them.
Wow.
Get all these books. These aren't the drop books you're looking for. 5 on the list. Ooh, we got a classic goodie. We got the Deadpool #1, The Circle Chase, from 1993, Joe Madeira and Fabian Nicieza. Beautiful book. Beautiful cover. Beautiful book. This is the first solo and limited series of Deadpool, everyone's favorite merc with the mouth. And I love this book so much. When it came out, I remember buying it off the shelf. It just had that really good eye-catching popping. When they were making those covers like that with the huge graphics, I don't know. Right. To me, it drew me right, and I was like, I need it. I don't know who Deadpool is at the time, but I need this book. He looks cool. And it turns out it's a great story. Has first appearance of Slayback, who's a new villain. He's got this like stretchy arm that's like grabbing people, and he can like even shoot stuff out of it. You got Juggernaut in the series. Even he has a little bit of I think it's Copycat is the girl that's in there that that he's kind of hanging out with. Great story. But the big thing with this book is over the years they printed so many. There's like a million copies of this issue, and I think for a long time it didn't really have a lot of value. But now people are really starting to enjoy those '90s books. Yeah, exactly. They've been popping off a little bit. And last year we got a lot of word of a Deadpool 3 movie coming out with they added in Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and people are starting to wonder like what storyline they're going to go with. And Circle Chase is like really good story, it'd be cool if they use that. I haven't heard much whisper that that's the story they're going to use, but it'd be a really good story because that really is where they get into that fourth wall breaking for like Deadpool. So last year, it got a little bump, and it's the least drop book on the list, number 5, and Zach will hit you with those numbers. Maybe it's a good idea to pick up the chase.
Yeah, for this fantastic listed book. Deadpool, you get a Deadpool, you get a list of people. Anyways, price a year ago for CGC 9.9. You got some numbers on that. Year ago was $4,920. Now it's $3,840. Good luck finding any of those. Range $3,840 to $4,920. Average sale is $4,380. It's about a 22% drop. this book has had an uptick recently for current reasons. It's going to be hard to find this for a really good deal. So this is the least drop book. You're probably not going to find a 9.9, but this is an iconic book. If you can, get it raw, get it graded, get it any way you have it, because it's going to be a pretty decent spec book.
Be on the lookout. There is a newsstand out there, and it is fun. Like Zach was saying, over like the past 5 to 10 years, it was really only like a $5 book for the longest time. It's nice. They're pretty much above 20 now regularly raw. If you're looking at like a raw copy, so it's a good book to have, and they're hard to get in high grade. I definitely read the crap out of my issue. All right, on to number 4 on the list. We got a big boy, a Silver Age book, Avengers number 9 from 1964. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby goodness. And this is first appearance and, unfortunately, the death of Wonder Man, all in the same issue. Simon Williams, great book. So big reason for the list this week is last year we got word that Marvel, the MCU, is going to be doing a Disney Plus TV series of Wonder Man, and it's going to be based around him in the Hollywood scene, his time in Hollywood. So, Wonder Man's been a spec for a while. We almost got him, I think, in like Guardians of the Galaxy. There was a chance he was going to be in one of the Captain America movies.
Okay.
They're not going to use our same friend actor from Firefly who was originally cast to be him. So they're going a different route, but he's been speculated on a couple times. I think this is the first time confirmed. There's like, hey, let's give Simon his own TV show. He's going to be in Hollywood. It'll maybe lead into something else. We'll find out. But overall, this number 9 issue is a great story. If you guys didn't know, actually in Fantastic Four 20, George R.R. Martin actually wrote a letter at 15 years old into Marvel to Stan Lee and the group and told him that this story was so good. It changed his life as like a writer to introduce a character like that and make it really prominent and then kill him off in the same story was so big to him, which is maybe why he killed so many people off in his own stories.
Anybody.
I don't know. Maybe this kind of lead towards that, but cool part of the story, cool book. Yeah, still a great key to get, which is probably why it's number 4 on our drop list this week. Hit him with the numbers, Zach.
All right, price of the year ago for CGC 8.5 was $1,995. Now $1,447. Range $1,447 to $1,999. Average sale is $1,721. It's about a 27% drop for this classic Silver Age book. You should always be on the lookout. It's part of the first 10 issues of Avengers, so it's always going to be classic. Get single digit. You get the first 1 through 10, and then the rest will just flow like butter. Guys, I really consider getting this book if you have any love for Avengers, like pimp's love. Anyways.
It's a different kind of love.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah, be careful. Don't pass on this, but we almost did. Our copy is actually like not in very good shape, and they drew like a green hair on Thor. And surprisingly, we got it graded, got it back, and this book is
moved his mouth.
Really expensive and like all great. So if you even see one that's like beat up, still go for it. It's a very nice book to have. A lot of people are looking for this book.
Yeah.
Whew! I almost had a little hero-gasm there, which takes us to number 3. Hero-gasm. Ooh, is the number 3 book on the list, and this Hero-gasm from Dynamite Comics 2009. Great cover there. Garth Ennis, Derek Robertson. This is a spin-off of The Boys, and last year, if you guys didn't know, this was getting some heat because we had The Boys season 3 come out. We all knew Soulja Boy was showing up in the TV show, and this is first appearance of Soulja Boy, first appearance of the second Crimson Countess, who I think is like his girlfriend in the story. I don't think they ever got married, but girlfriend type of the Soulja Boy. And this was a big deal for a lot of people because we got our good friend Jensen Ackles from Supernatural finally taking on another role, and he decided to pick a cool one and go with Soulja Boy. So, I mean, I think he's like one of the most beloved actors in all of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever he does is going to be golden, and he did it good. The third season started out a little slow, but just once it got its stride, it is easily one of the best seasons so far. Just great one. And everyone was looking for Soulja Boy. Hero-gasm was popping off. Now don't forget, I think this is like a 5-issue limited series. Kind of explains a little bit of this dirty stuff. Hero-gasms where like these heroes pretend they're going to go off to fight some alien war, but instead they go to like the sex party and it's kind of like what happens at the sex. Very strange comic. It's one of the things I actually read part of it, and then the show kind of explains it like a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty dirty in the show as well. But they changed Soldier Boy a little bit. I think in the show he's a little more like really powerful, and everyone's kind of afraid of him. In the comic, I got more that like he was even kind of afraid of Homelander in the comic. It was a little bit different storyline, but between the two, I'm glad they did it differently because there's some weird stuff that happens in the comic that I did not want to see in the TV show. But some cool stuff. Be on the lookout. There's a virgin copy that's a 1 in 15 that is quite a bit more valuable, and there's a 1 in 25 negative, kind of like almost like a picture negative of this book that is worth less than the virgin, but also still cool as well. But Zach will hit you with them Hero Gasm numbers.
With this explosive issue.
He's like,
CGC 9.8 sold for $200 a year ago. Now it sells for about $115. Range 76 to 250. Average sale is $173, and it's a 42% drop. Who knows if this book is gonna last or it's just gonna crash. It's a pretty cool cover, though. It's one of the funniest covers in the game. I'd consider getting it. If you like The Boys or Hero Gasm or any of that Garth Ennis. I just think it's a funny name. Ennis. Anyways, so on to the next book.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a cool one. I think maybe Boys #1 might have a little more longevity. That book's kind of been strange, too, though. It's like, started out real strong, and then it kind of plateaued out, and then it came back again. You know, it's kind of going in a little bit of roller coaster. I don't know if Hero Gasm will quite do the same thing. I hope we see Soldier Boy again, but you never know. Yeah, give him the salute. All right, back to Wonder Man here. This is definitely a Wonder Man heavy issue. We could have done all these books on Wonder Man's, but we didn't. You got Wonder Man issue #1 from 1991. Jeff Johnson and Jared Jones. This is kind of an interesting key. I always thought this one was funny, but it's the first solo series of Wonder Man in Hollywood. So strange enough, there's a series before this, but this is the one everybody was looking for last year because of this is when he finally goes to Hollywood and gets kind of like a different persona, gets like an agent, and in Hollywood he gets Neil Saran, who is Wonder Man's agent. This happens to be his first appearance as well. We're getting some rumors that Bob Odenkirk might play him in the TV show. So I'll play the agent, because this whole thing is supposed to be based around him, like as a struggling actor in Hollywood, this TV show. So that's kind of why everyone was looking for this book for a while. It got strangely expensive, like kind of a silly book. But yeah, we will see what happens. We already know Yaha Abdul Mateen #2 is the second is cast to be Wonder Man as well. And if you guys don't know that name, he's actually been in a ton of movies. He's Candyman. He was Black Mantis in the Aquaman movie. He was also in the Watchmen series as well. I think he played Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen series. He's been in like a whole bunch of stuff. Great actor. I'm super excited to see him as Wonder Man. But this is a strange book. I don't know. It kind of got real hot real fast, and then like kind of pittered out. I think we're sitting on quite a few copies of this book. We'll have to see. Hopefully this TV show is really good, and if you got some of those books, it'll pay off for you in the long run. But Zach, I'll let you know if Zach needs to get an agent after this.
Well, it's a missed opportunity. What they could have done was have She-Hulk introduce Wonder Man as a love interest, right? Because he's in Hollywood, she's in like a legal kind of thing where she works with Hollywood people in legal disputes, and then they could have a dispute in bed. Price a year ago. What? No, come on. Daredevil was pretty cool that they introduced that, but they should have introduced another one.
Okay.
Another one. Okay, price a year ago for CGC 9.8 was $90. Now about $50 for 9.8. Range, it's been as low as $23 and as high as $206 in a year. Average sale is $83. 44% drop, not too bad. This is a pretty cool cover. It's probably not like one of those classic covers like the Circle Chase, but pretty cool. Might be something you want to spec on, and right now is the time to buy it, because getting a 9.8 for $50, I mean, what are you missing out on? Have a nice seafood dinner, or you could have this book. I'd rather have this book, but that's just my
a seafood dinner.
humble opinion.
Yeah, if the preview comes out too, you'll probably at least hit back up to 100. So if you buy a bunch for 50, you can, what do you say, get those gains? Double your money?
Yeah, and then you can sell it and have 2 seafood dinners.
There you go. Take someone out. All right, we made it. You guys made it to the end of the show, and you get to hear the number 1 drop book of the list, and it is West Coast Avengers number 1 from 1984. Bob Hall, Roger Stern, the other Roger Stern. First team appearance of the West Coast Avengers. And if this gets a little, this book gets confusing. There was a short mini series that came out first, issues 1 through 4, and then the second series led right after that, where you automatically get another West Coast Avengers number 1, and that was the ongoing series. But this one is known to be the first team appearance of the West Coast Avengers. And if you weren't sure who was part of that group, you got the Hawkeye, Iron Man, Rhodey Rhodes, Wonder Man was in there, Mockingbird, and Tigra rounds out the group of the original West Coast Avengers. Reason this book got hot last year is there was a lot of speculation on if they do a Wonder Man series that could lead into the West Coast Avengers. They've already had a lot of the group members show up already, or different people from other shows, like Moon Knight's part of West Coast Avengers at one time. So anything could happen. So they're thinking Wonder Man might lead into that. So this one got like a little bit of a bump. I think it's kind of a stretch, but not too far of a stretch. You also had that little thing going on in the Hawkeye TV show, where they stayed at that old actor lady's mansion, where they took, like, Hawkeye and Kate Bishop went to go stay there. That was actually the same mansion that's like the headquarters for West Coast Avengers.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they were kind of like, that might be, there's a little bit of a lead into that. It could happen. It might not. We never know. I would think they're going to do West Coast Avengers at one time, just because it kind of makes sense. They can always switch up the team. They've done that already, depending on who's going to be there. But this lands itself as the biggest drop book of the week, and Zach will hit you with them numbers right in the mouth.
Prices a year ago. You got you right in the mouth. You didn't want it at $395 for a CTC 9.8.
Wow.
Now $139. $139.
$400. Wow.
Range $139 to $395. Average sales $269. It's a 65% drop. If you bought this book at the high, I feel so bad. I could have told you, don't buy this book that high of a price. Get it raw, get a couple of them, send them in, hopefully get 4 or 5 9.8, sell off the ones that you don't need, keep one, and it pays for itself. And that's how you get those gains. Every single time. The thing is with this book, I'm thinking about, is that it might be a very long time for West Coast Avengers to show up, and they might not be called West Coast Avengers. It just might be an assembly of similar characters. Because I think the guy that plays Hawkeye now will probably not be playing Hawkeye forever. I think Kate Bishop's going to take on that role, right? And she's probably going to be in Young Avengers before she's in West Coast Avengers. So I think Young Avengers is going to show up, and then they might do West Coast Avengers later, called something different. I could be wrong. What? You think I'm wrong?
I don't know.
Because we still got to do Young Avengers.
Maybe not. Kane ain't doing too well right now, buddy.
Yeah.
He's in Kane court.
Yeah. So, my number 1 overall pick is going to be a Wonder Man 9. It's not the best pickup to get, but it's going to be the consistent return on here.
Number 1 pick.
Probably my second strong one that would be really good if you got a 9.8 would be the Circle Chase, Deadpool Circle Chase. They're just a really iconic cover. Not that many covers are like that.
It's cool. And if you get a chance, read it, because it's a really cool story. That's kind of like where I got like the first feeling of Deadpool being really funny and goofy, and sort of being like an anti-hero at the same time. Right around the similar time when like Venom started to be good too, which was kind of cool.
True.
Similar time and a fun time at Marvel Comics. All right, guys, that wraps up the drop list for this week. As usual, if you like and love the show as much as we do, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when we're going to be live. We have a special show for you this Wednesday. We will be updating you at SummerCon, doing a live show. Princess will have a guest princess for that week. She will be in Vegas, so stay tuned for the guest princess, and we'll all talk about the games and some cool people we met this weekend. So definitely come hang out with us on Wednesday and on Saturday as well for our new lineup for Whatnot. And Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, you gotta share. How you do that is you have to share the con game. You have to get in your car. Hopefully someone's driving you. In my case, that's true. And you just go on. Hopefully it's not too long, maybe an hour. And you're playing games in the back seat while people are doing real work in the front seat. I won't name names. It's me. And you get there, finally get there, and you get this great convention going on. A lot of people getting the food right at the beginning while you're thinking, but you're having a lot of fun, and you get in the gains that those people are missing by getting the fat gains. That's how you really get those come-ups. I'm not saying it. The come-ups. It's not gains, the come-ups. Yeah. The come-ups. Or outs. Or ins.
All around you.
All around.
They're all around you.
It's a circle. Goes round and round. Okay.
All right, until we see you next time, guys. Stay safe and remember.
Get those circle gains.
Get 'em.